out to the tribes. But yeah, the Native American Fish and Wildlife Society for quite a few years to try to get that money on the reservations. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's answer to that was the tribal wildlife grant, roughly about $4 million every year, and all the tribes have to apply for it. And I think the max funding that you can get is like $200,000. In fact, Clavin and these guys, they got that money for blackfoot parrots. That's where they got that funding to reintroduce blackfoot parrots to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So there is money out there, but tapped into that Pittman Robert Engel Johnson Act money, you essentially fight with Congress because they're representing your state. Some years back, I know, I want to say, Defenders of Wildlife actually tried to tap in when carbon sequestration, where their tribal government was looking to start taxing for air quality and stuff like that. Defenders tried to call a bunch of tribal leaders over there to request that funding for fishing game. So there is a battle out there, but when, and I'm not, I don't blame anybody, but when you get the tribal leaders together and the federal government asks them, give us your priorities, Fish and Wildlife is down on the bottom. I mean, when I say I don't blame them, because you got education, law enforcement, housing, healthcare, that's all their priorities. But when it comes down to Fish and Wildlife, it's always down way on the bottom, sometimes it's not even mentioned. So in Congress, they don't even see that as a priority for the tribes.
So go, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a couple, then I'll go to Henry. Just kind of switching gears here again on Chapter 12, on Title 12, it establishes a commission. Done just for the members. I think that's non-functional right now on the commission. That's one thing, and then the commission is entitled to deal with the guides and stuff on reservations. So we got on other bills we have a composition of commissions and stuff. So I think we got to really look at amending this portion actually on Section 12 on the commission portion, and this one's for the Fish and Game Department. Senator Don Fraser, he knows about this. CLB 1007 was an act to make unlawful hunting of wild bighorn sheep within the exterior boundaries of the current reservation into establishment of a comprehensive long-term management program. We did that with the Blackfoot Ferret and got some funding, so maybe that's another means of looking at monies. I know there was some, I read it in the paper where it was grant on putting the bighorn sheep, reallocating or what's the word I'm looking for here? Relocating the bighorn sheep. There's some grant monies available, so that's kind of another means that's sitting out there. But yeah, I just wanted to bring those two subjects up before we got too far here. And I think we're starting to wind down. Dookie's starting to give me the Henry.
Thank you. Hunting, these white guys hunting on bead land on a reservation, and this was more of a legal question. Wasn't that challenged before for the white guys can go hunt there? And so, and I agree with Yo-Yo, we should broaden it where we have more jurisdiction, but how does that guy, if they did win that case, how does that guy get his game off the reservation? I don't know, it's just a question out there. Because when I go to siege strip and go hunt on tribal ground, if that game warden's sitting there, he's gonna arrest me. How do I get it from back to Bud's Freezer to get processed? So when I go with my game, get from Oddfellows to Bud Freezer, I need to get a permit, right? So I think that was challenged, but I'm not sure. And as far as the gun calibers, I think 300 down is fine. That's my opinion. I agree with the 338 lapels and 50 cals should be outlawed. And looking at the pictures up here of antelope, I don't know very many crows that really do hunt antelope, but I'm sure there is some. Ever since I was a kid, my dad told me don't shoot them in fall time, like say a normal hunting season, and go off the reservation. That's when they hunt them. And he said when he was ever since he was a little boy, he hunted them in the fall time. That's the way they do it over there in Cheyenne. That's when there's no wild game taste, no sagey taste. The meat is fat. So when you're coming up with the seasons, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as something for you guys to consider. Thank you. Keep it short. Thanks.
Oh, here's the best. Any more? Okay, go ahead, Charles.
About the guides, you guys can run that how you want, and I've seen tribes where they, like on the Blackfeet reservation, they don't deal with the guides, they just have the guides pay, and they gotta be certified and everything, and they have to pay a fee to be a guide. And so I've seen that where on Blackfeet, so when a non-tribal member wants to hunt, they'll sell the tag to the non-tribal member, and then they'll give them a list of guides that are approved on the Blackfeet reservation, and then they go to the guides and negotiate on the price on what that would cost. But like at White Mountain Apache, all their guides are tribal employees, so you can go that route too. So there's no one way of developing a guide system, but you can use that as a guide.
So, you can comment real quick on that. So under the commission's duties, under currently Title 12, that's their duties is to come up with a list of guides, but we have a non-function commission right now, so that was my point on that. Flavor?
Right now, that non-functional committee, their duty falls down to Fish and Game as captain. I make sure the guides and outfitters follow the rules per Title 12 Pro Law and Order Code. I think we have like 3 approved outfitters and maybe 5 guides, and those outfitters flash as guides too. There's not very many, and I think we'll have maybe 2 or 3 more now that upland bird season is coming up October 1st. Pheasants, partridges, things of that nature, and sage grouse are prohibited hunting species just because of them almost hitting the endangered species list and a big push for sage grouse habitat and conservation. But yeah, we don't have very many people that do that, and what they do guide is bison, antelope, and bear. Pretty much. Yeah, and the majority of the Big Horn River guides are non-tribal. We don't really have any. I don't know if we have the foundation or the strength to even approach that subject right now and to stir that pot, but that's just a little clarification on the guides. But all guides currently working on the reservation are approved through the Law and Order Code. So.
All right. Any more? Go ahead,
Question for Mr. Rivera. Is there any cooperative agreements in place right now? Because I didn't think that the code right now with the way the jurisdiction is listed does this justice very much. But I know that there is some case law that affects that somewhat. But in any event, with a cooperative agreement with the other jurisdictions, I think there was an example with Fish and Law, or for the case scenario with the non-Indians that were drunk. They worked together in that situation. So being that we only have just a few game wardens, is there any kind of cooperative agreement we can enter into to share services?
Not at the moment. We don't have any, and I could probably foresee us working with Montana, but I tried to actually work with Wyoming and get their labs capabilities so we do DNA testing. And that actually started a case on me, so I'm not going to try that again. They said I was asking too many questions and was obviously up to something. That's where I started.
Fort Pitt Tribe actually has an MOU with the state, and it's a pretty generic MOU right now, but on the ground, they've been actually going out there and doing some work together on the ground. It's just more of the political side of it that kind of interferes, but on the ground, they do have an MOU that's really generic, and they've been working together on the ground. Wind River Tribe, they've got a pretty good working relationship with the state of Wyoming right now, where if they get a non-tribal member, they would actually look at who has a stronger case and where they can convict that person even more if it's with the state or with the tribe. So they've been working a little bit together over in Wyoming too. And then Sage Kootenai Tribe has a pretty extensive MOU with the state of Montana on it.
And then my last question is, we've been talking about trying to get funding for this program for quite some time. It was kind of a dire, discussion because of all the scenarios that happened, the vehicles breaking down, money coming out of our pockets. So your idea with this buffalo hunt, is that something you can bring to a reality? Can you present a plan for next winter, or was it early spring?
February, I could present a plan as early as next week.
Because if you say you can get that kind of money, and I think that would benefit that program.
It's feasible, but everyone would have to be on board.
Is there any contention to that?
And if that, then we have to probably word it in a way to where both buffalo pasture and fish and game benefited, because technically they're two different departments right now. And that could be a big reality. Another thing is, I know the bighorn sheep are non-huntable, but there could be a project, and this project could start anytime, to where we can reintroduce them into maybe the Black Canyon area. We'd have to find like winter grounds, summer grounds, breeding grounds, calving grounds. But we got a biologist that specializes in kind of on the back burner. I think he works for the BLM down south. But he could come out, find all that stuff real quick. We can reintroduce him into the Black Canyon area where people could see him. Keep the hunting off limits, but crows could drive sawlog and see them and start seeing that we're getting our animals back. And as a management tool, we can trap some, ship them to different places, and maybe hunt one ram hunt auctioned at the same banquet would run anywhere between $200,000, $500,000 just for one hunt. And with that money could go back into the department, go back into the programs, and start different conservation programs. Right now we got the cutthroat trout, we have the sage grouse, we have the black-footed ferret. I think we can start the bighorn sheep project. Then we can start other projects. Like we moved nests off of power lines onto platforms for eagles, for safety of power line and eagles. We could just sky's the limit when it comes to conservation. And once you start doing conservation stuff, that also brings in money, and people start donating. And it can roller coaster into a self-sufficient program if we were allowed to do these things and control our finances. And that's the biggest issue, I guess.
Any more? Okay, all right, Alan? Alan, and then Mr. Ski.
Hello, my name is Alan Rosesgun. Some of you probably don't know who I am, but I graduated from high school and then university played ball down there, NAI ball. Then I went to University of Kansas and graduated with my master's there in Indigenous Nation Studies. And I know a lot of this issue, we're talking about money here and using the fish and wildlife to somehow make money or make the fish and game. But from my degrees and what I went into, I seen how bad we as Indians have been exploited. We've been exploited, we lost everything. And this hunting right thing, it goes beyond just us in here. I know there's some of you elected here and you have a little more say, but there's a lot more people who don't really believe that we should be having people outside of Crow tribal membership up there on the mountain or in this reservation hunting. You got to remember, hunting rights we're not, it's not about money or going and getting this guy to come and pay a bunch of money to get a bull elk or something. I've been hunting since I was a kid, and we've taught the cultural ways of, there's things you got to do from a cultural perspective when you take an animal. There's prayers and things like that. I agree with some of you. You're talking about, teaching the youth and all that, and I think those are good things. But at the same time, I'm seeing outfitting in this, and there's a lot of Crow people that don't own land anymore. There's a lot of people that live in Hardin and Crow and don't live here because there's not enough housing. And we have, in order to outfit, you have to have land. You got to have a place for your customers to stay and all that. So I guess what I'm seeing is this kind of being put in place for someone out there to outfit. That's how I'm seeing it. And there's going to be some people that are going to profit off of this. And we all know you got to have a fish and game code in order to outfit. So that's kind of what I see here going on. And I see that there's no animals to be sold off the reservation. Well, isn't that kind of the same thing when you outfit? You're making money off of somebody coming in. It's kind of this, you're still making money off of this resource here. So that's another thing right there. And, going with the hunting rights, we're supposed to have hunting rights for the 4 base poles. We're supposed to have that. But it's not there. We got to go get permits. We got to go do all that to go off res. This is a place here where we can get organic meat. We can still get organic meat. All the beef and all that food out there has been genetically modified. Beef, hormone, and they're putting everything in the food now. That's why we're getting a lot of problems with health and everything. Well, our deer, elk, and all this stuff is stuff we can get year round. I'm all for, people not taking 30 head of elk, but at the same time, we got to be able to go and get, that elk when we want. This is basically our last right that we have. Because you got to remember now, when you start to regulate and you regulate yourselves, it's going to get worse, and it's getting worse and worse. And you look at the U.S. government, how they did to Indian people, the regulation, it'll keep going. Pretty soon, I might be able to go hunt one deer out of, and that's something it's a reality. The government steps in and all that. I don't think we should be using the fish and game to be trying to make money off of, it should be a place where we can go and do our thing. We're kind of, this is all we have. Most of the reservation ain't even Indian owned anymore, but it's one of the last things that we can do. And, that's just something that I think, to try to make money off of it, to get sustaining programs, keep going. Well, that's kind of where taxation comes in, not just off of making money off of our deer and elk and all that. I don't even think people should be hunting buffalo. That's what I think, because I've seen in the laws and history, and I studied it, and it's, this is one of the last things we have as Indian people. And myself, I think the overuse of the resources, it's there. There's some people doing that, but it doesn't mean, we're all doing that either. If I want to go and get, a deer in the spring, because my grandmothers or my aunts, they want some deer, dry meat or something, I should be able to do that. And without having to go make money and all that, This is like the last little bit of freedom we actually have. If people want to go get that monster bull out, ate by it, and they can go off the res, put in a draw. They can, that's all there. It's off the res though. This should be a haven and a refuge for the last bits of our. We can bear. There's people chaining up their lands. We can't even go to some places, and they're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to have access to all this, and we're losing it. And more regulations that happen, it's going to keep going. We open it up for outfitting. Well, there's going to be money out there, big time money that's there. They're going to come in, and someone's going to push it, and then pretty soon we'll have this place will be, a hunting business outfitting thing, and that's not what it should be. It's hunting rights should be for hunting, and that's kind of the way I see it. All other business and all that stuff can be done off the res. That's just how I see it. So I think this should go further. More time and more people should know about this. Get more people involved. Debate is good. You got to have debate. And myself, that's just my feelings. If a person feels another way, I respect that. But debate is good. You got to have debate because you can't have like a dictatorship going on either. So I think this should be let more people know about it. More people need to know about this and have more people voice their opinion, because it goes beyond just what some of us are here. The tribe, it's tribal. It's not for one person to make money out of it. It's tribal. It's the tribal concept is for everybody, and that's just how I feel. So thanks for listening to what I have to say. I hope.
Okay, any more? Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. To Gaga. One of the things I know we're on the regulations, on the policy, on the code, but one thing to think about too that we still need to develop in regards to fish and game. A few years back, we passed our law exerting our treaty rights in regards to what Alan was talking about. We're supposed to have that hunting right in the 4 base post, and when we exerted that, some of the gentlemen here, I think Yo-Yo was a part of it, I know CJ, there was a few of the senators here that a delegation went to Helena and met with the, I believe it was a Fish and Wildlife. Anyway, they met with the state in regards to treaty hunting. And everybody was expecting a fight when they got there. And instead what they got was it was a response that it kind of shocked everybody. The gentleman there said, what took you guys so long? And what they want from us now is a policy on how we're going to execute that right. It won't be an MOA, it'll be an MOU. It'll be an understanding of how we're going to provide that, exercise that right. I believe what we're going to have to do here on our part is develop that policy. I think it will be something like our right to get TV poles in these places. When we go to the culture office, get that permit, and we go over there and we can go to the state office and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get X amount of sets of TV poles. I'm not sure if that's how it's going to work, but I believe it's something in that nature. And if we develop that policy and do that MOU, that would be another avenue for the young men and women to hunt. So it would kind of relieve some of the pressure from the game here. But anyway, and I believe that would be on some of the state lands and the federal lands. And as you know, a lot of people are afraid of brucellosis, especially the cattlemen. They're probably only too glad to have you bag a few elk on their property. But anyway, that's just another issue that we need to be aware of. I just want you guys to know about it, because here on September 17th, I believe, is Treaty Day. one of the treaties was signed on that day. I believe it was 1851. 1868 was signed on May 7th, and we declared those days treaty days. But anyway, that's just something to be aware of. And next meeting, maybe we'll talk about the policy in regards to off-reservation hunting too. But that's something to think about. I just waited till the end because I know you guys were going through the code and that. But this is kind of an offshoot of that. Maybe it could be implemented in the code. But I'm not sure how we'll proceed with that. But we'll talk about that later, I guess. I hope.
Do we any more? Go ahead. Go down.
All right, thank you. Basically, Alan touched on a lot of the concerns and issues that I raised as a Crow tribal member for myself, and being a fishing or Montana hunting license holder, and hearing the discussion today, reviewing the paperwork. I would, being a Crow tribal member, I would appreciate it if my rights weren't infringed on throughout a whole year. And hunting, for hunting, I believe in conservation, but I don't believe in it being tailored towards any type of business. My right as a father is to teach my children how to conserve, hunt, and do all that. And I do believe in developing these programs for our youth. But I don't believe in tailoring any kind of codes or anything to help somebody fill their pockets. I do believe that the elk and deer for the Crow tribal members, exclusively, is one of the greatest things that I can have as a Crow tribal member, and I don't believe that exploiting that for money would fall along my beliefs. Other than that, there's not much to say. It sounds like you guys got it all covered, but without vested interest in nor trying to own an outfitting company, I would love to see it not tailored towards falling along those lines. And that's all I have to say.
Yes, that's good. You're entitled to your right, and we respect that. So go ahead, Wade.
Well, as a captain of fishing game, I try to have to remain neutral, but I would say there's probably 2 or 3 tribal members that rely on that for their entire year's revenue. That's not a lot of money. And before, I'd say maybe the next meeting, maybe get those guys in here to talk, to kind of see their point of view and how they go about it. I mean, a lot of it right now is information gathering and getting on the same page. We're not all on the same page, but the closer we can get to understanding the totality of the truth and the fishing game issues and codes and stuff on our reservation, which also includes everyone's opinions and beliefs and stuff. I think we need to get those guys in here to kind of talk about their point of view. I thought a couple of them would show, but maybe they didn't get the info. But the next meeting, I don't know when we're going to set that. If we could set that today, I could get those guys coming this way.
So you would like to have some of these outfitters that are out there?
Yeah, like we got Willie,
Your side?
Willie Peters, we got Jesse Medill, we got Chaz Benz, and I think those are the 3 approved outfitters for the Crow Nation, and any other guys kind of fall under those guys. So I'd just like to at least get the next meeting set as soon as possible. That way I can get to working on getting those guys in here too.
Before you guys close, I'm going to want to say one more thing. I forgot to say it. I'll just say it really brief. Respect, like again, I respect all your guys' opinion, I'm good. But I'm gonna say this, like the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion, it's a right. When you regulate that, it's no longer a right, it's a privilege. So when we regulate ourselves, it's no longer a right, it's a privilege. And that should be remembered, because this conflicts with our treaty, our old treaty rights. Things these guys, they fought and died for this land and everything, our ancestors. So these rights, you gotta remember now, the money with the right, you gotta remember now, it'll become a privilege instead of a right. Once you have regulation on there, so that's something to keep in mind with this going on. So that's another thing I wanted to say.
All right, thank you. Okay, going once, going twice. Ooh, that's too late. Need a motion to. Close it. Need a motion to, need that, your recommendation?
I had them make some copies.
Okay,
So I
cool.
can give it to you.
Okay, need a motion on the floor for Senator Sean Realbert's on Conservation 12-3-102, Conservation Fund number 2 and 3, amend with stronger language. We need that. Amend Title 12, Section 12-12-102, Conservation subsection 1 and 2 for separate line item budgets and bank accounts. Need that motion. Make that motion. Going once. Oh, let's say, yeah, that's it. Going twice. Okay. So we'll still discuss this though. I'm gonna keep this, it's noted. So no more motions, but at the next time we'll write all this down and then we can have this for discussion. And I know that the recommendations that we had, wrote some of those down, and we'll talk about this one too, the motion that was made. But I believe that should be done with stronger language myself. So there's a separate bank account and it's separated. Buffalo pasture is separated, fishing game is separated, and not like right now, like this. And, wait, I know exactly what the budget is. Get away from that. But the Kagolog, need a motion to adjourn? Motion by Secretary Alden, need a second. Second by Senator Goodlove. All those in favor say aye. All right.